Hey there, welcome back to Startups. This is track 2, week 5, and these are our practical teachings for Startups Plus, where we're talking about soft skills. Remember, soft skills. Soft skills are skills that are applicable in any kind of work. They are applicable across the board. They'll help you in whatever you do. And these are things like critical thinking and problem-solving skills, like time management, giving and receiving feedback, and taking initiative. This week, we're going to talk about teamwork. What's going to work? Teamwork. Or as they say, teamwork makes the dream work. So let's talk about teamwork and how it relates to leadership. I haven't been able to find the author of this quote, but this is pretty important. Leadership is a process by which a person influences others to accomplish an objective and directs the organization in a way that makes it more cohesive and coherent. Leadership is really the art of influence, and we need to be able to differentiate influence and manipulation because they're kind of flip sides of the same coin, meaning that they're very close in their nature, but they do produce dramatically different results. Let me give you an example. My daughter, my oldest daughter, she is a leader. She's a born leader. She influences the people in her class, in her group, in her social settings, and they follow her. But the flip side of that coin is that she can be really bossy. She can push people around, right? Leadership and being bossy often have some of the similar traits, but they're really flip sides of the same coin. One of them's a positive and one of them's a negative. My other daughter, she's very compassionate. That would be like the positive side of the coin. But sometimes she can let her emotions overrule her judgment because she cares so much. She cares so deeply. So again, flip sides of the same coin. Influence and manipulation are very much that way. And I think usually the difference between the two is what's the motive? Manipulation is often just influencing somebody for your own benefit, for your own good, for selfish reasons. And that, quite honestly, is the opposite of what we're talking about today in terms of teamwork. We're called to lead and influence our teams, but not manipulate them. And by the way, teamwork is not optional. In nearly every area of life, teamwork is essential. You want to build a family? It's going to require teamwork. The parents are going to have to work together, and they're going to have to work with their children. It's teamwork. If you work in an office, teamwork is going to happen. Even in areas where you would feel that it's solo, maybe you want to be an oil painter or something like that, you're probably going to have to work as a team with a distributor or with an art dealer. So teamwork is everywhere. It's not optional. Good and healthy teams achieve 3 things. 1, goals are accomplished. 2, cohesion is fostered. And 3, team members are highly satisfied. Goals are accomplished, cohesion is fostered, and team members are satisfied. That's a healthy and good team. So how do we achieve those goals? Let me give you 5 teamwork basics that'll help you get started. Number 1, communicate. Overly communicate everything. There's a reason why you've been developing your roles, your goals, your mission, your vision, your values, and your culture. There's a reason why you're writing those things out. It's so that you can clearly communicate them to other people down the road. Even things like ground rules and expectations and responsibilities. You need to be open, you need to be honest, you need to be respectful in how you communicate, but all of these things need to be communicated clearly and concisely. Number 2, listen. Every voice is unique and every voice matters on your team. Diversity is something that should be celebrated, and allowing every voice to communicate and be heard builds trust, which is fundamental to building a team. Number 3, be observant. Who's participating? Who's not? How do people take turns? Who talks to who? Who responds well to who? How are interruptions handled? Is silence okay? Is anyone dominating the conversation? How are decisions made on the team? Is it by consensus or by vote? Or is it just by a single person? You as the leader need to observe how your team interacts. And number 4 is contribute. It's kind of the 3 Musketeers, all for one and one for all type of a thing. In football, they call it the 1/11th. There are 11 players on the field for your team at any given moment. And your job is to do your 1/11th. It's also, often termed as like find your lane and stay in your lane. You have something to contribute, but you need to figure out what your contribution is and do that to the best of your ability. This develops a sense of belonging and commitment when people get to contribute. And number 5 is organize. The age-old question is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You need to have a goal in mind and then develop some major pieces in order to achieve that goal, and then break those things down into minor pieces. Get your thoughts organized, get your brainstorming organized, get your mind mapping organized, because structure helps form the basis of a solid team. And the more that the team grows, the bigger that the team gets, the more structure is needed. So the teamwork basics are communicate, listen to other people, observe how your team interacts, have everyone contribute, and then organize it. Here are 5 teamwork killers. Number 1 is hogging. This is where one person talks too much or takes on too much work. This is very true, particularly in church organizations, because oftentimes the lead pastors are very capable people, especially in small churches. And so I know that when we started our church, I was the teaching pastor on Sunday mornings. I was the worship pastor on Sunday mornings. I would often run sound and video and lights, and I would also be the setup and teardown crew. I hogged all of the responsibilities. But that kills teamwork, because then there's nothing for anybody else to contribute. And frankly, from my perspective, I was better at running sound than the other people who knew how to run a soundboard. And so I thought, well, I'll do it myself. And I was a better worship leader than the other people that knew how to lead worship. But that's not the point. It's not about, doing it the best or doing it with the most excellence. This is about teamwork and doing things together. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So don't hog, or don't let anybody else hog the responsibility. So first teamwork killer is hogging. The second one is flogging, which is, beating a dead horse, so to speak. Chances are your startup, your ministry, your organization, your business is probably going to experience a whole lot of failure. And when you fail, yes, it is absolutely important to understand why that failure happened, but there's no reason to just sit on it and beat the dead horse. The failure happened. Why did it happen? Figure that out and then move on. Number 3 in teamwork killers is frogging. This is where you're jumping from topic to topic, or from event to event, or even from project to project, or this even might be vision to vision too quickly. If you jump around and change your mission, vision, values, or your purpose, or your goals too often, it gets really confusing for people, and it kills teamwork because other people can't follow you. Number 4 is bogging, which is the opposite of frogging. This is where you're getting stuck on one thing for too long. Kind of similar to the flogging aspect, where that's kind of beating the dead horse. Bogging is where you just kind of get stuck on a single topic or a single issue. Maybe it's even a single vision point or a single purpose or a single event. It's just not working. It's not getting any movement. We need to be able to recognize when something's not working, or when something is stuck, and simply move on. And the last teamwork killer is logging. Kind of getting waterlogged, where you're just holding everything in and you're keeping silent on issues. And this could happen to any one of your team members. If they don't feel like they have a voice, or if they don't feel like they can contribute, they'll just stay silent on issues. And if there's silence, it's not teamwork. Now, the biggest enemy of building teams is insecurity. Because insecurity breeds self-interest, it breeds division, and it breeds risk aversion. And so when you're building teams and when you're building team members, you need to be able to choose people who are secure in who they are and who they are in Christ, but you also need to actively and intentionally develop security within your team members by giving them a voice, by allowing them to contribute, by giving them responsibilities and celebrating their wins. Team members who are secure in who they are as individuals and feel secure as members of the team will have better commitment and will be more productive long term. So, how do we build teams? We communicate, we listen, we observe, we allow others to contribute, and we organize the whole thing. And we avoid hogging or flogging and frogging and bogging and logging. And most of all, we fight against insecurity and division, and we develop security within the individuals and within the team. Teamwork is essential to growth in your business, in your ministry, in your organization, and in your startup. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Develop a team.